the chapter summary of the beginning here. So I'll start reading that, and then we can take the Sanskrit afterwards. Chapter 7, Indra offends his spiritual master Brihaspati. As related in this chapter, Indra, the king of heaven, committed an offense at the feet of his spiritual master Brihaspati. Brihaspati therefore left the demigods, who then had no priest. However, at the request of the demigods, Vishvarup, the son of the Brahmana Twasta, became their priest. Once upon a time, Indra, the king of the demigods, was sitting with his wife Shati Devi and being praised by various demigods like the Siddhas, Charanas, and Gandharvas. When Brihaspati, the spiritual master of the demigods, entered the assembly, Indra, being too absorbed in material opulence, forgot himself and did not respect Brihaspati, who thus became aware of Indra's pride in his material opulence and immediately disappeared from the assembly to teach him a lesson. Indra became most repentant, understanding that because of his opulence he had forgotten to respect his spiritual master. He left the palace to beg pardon from his spiritual master, but could not find Brihaspati anywhere. Because of his disrespectful behavior toward his spiritual master, Indra lost all his opulence and was conquered by the demons, who defeated the demigods in a great fight and occupied Indra's throne. King Indra, along with the other demigods, later took shelter of Lord Brahma. Understanding the situation, Lord Brahma chastised the demigods for their offense to their spiritual master. Following Lord Brahma's orders, the demigods accepted Vishvarup, who was a Brahmana and the son of Twasta, as their priest. Then they performed yajnas under the priesthood of Vishvarup and were able to conquer the demons. Sri Raja Uvacha
Sri Raja Uvacha
Kasya Heto Parijakta Charyena Atmaha Suraha Itat Takshva Bhagavan Sishanam Akramam Urau Sri Rajovacha Kasya Heto Parijakta Kasya Heto Parijakta Acharyena Manasura Etat Atakshva Bhagavan Shishanam Akramam Gurau Sri Rajovacha Kasya Heto Parijakta Acharyena Manasura Etat Takshva Bhagavan Shishanam Akramam Gurau
Sri Rajovacha Kasya Heto Parijakta Acharyena Manasura Etat Achakshva Bhagavan Shishanam Akramam Guru
Sri Rajovacha Kasya Heto Parityakta Acharyena Manasura Etat Achakshva Bhagavan Shishyanam Akramam Guru
Sri Rajovacha Kasya Heto Parijakta Acharyena Manasura
Chakshva Bhagavan
Shishyanam
Shishyanam
Brahmamurao.
Sri Raja Uvacha.
Sri Raja Vacha.
The king inquired,
The king inquired,
Kasya Heto,
Kasyaito,
for what reason?
For what
reason?
Parityakta,
Parityakta,
rejected,
rejected,
Acharyena,
Acharyena,
by the spiritual master,
by the
spiritual master,
Brihaspati,
Brihaspati,
Atmanaha,
Atmanaha,
himself,
of himself,
Suraha,
Suraha,
all the demigods,
all the demigods,
Etat,
Etat,
this,
Achakshva,
kindly describe
kindly describe,
Bhagavan,
Bhagavan,
O great sage,
O great sage,
Shukadev Goswami,
Sukadeva Goswami,
Shri Shranam,
Shranam,
of the disciples,
of the disciples,
Akramam,
Akramam,
the offense,
the offense,
Purao, unto the spiritual master.
unto the spiritual master.
Translation. Maharaj Pariksit inquired from Shukadev Goswami, O great sage, why did the spiritual master of the demigods, Brihaspati, reject the demigods who were his own disciples? What offense did demigods commit against their spiritual master? Please describe to me this incident. Purport. Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur comments, Satta me gurunacha taya devai daita parititaye Visvarupo guru te na mritto brahmo padeshata. The 7th chapter describes how Brihaspati was offended by the demigods, how he left them and the demigods were defeated, and how the demigods, following the instructions of Lord Brahma, accepted Visvarup as a priest to perform their sacrifice. Sri Rajuvacha Kasya Heta Parichakta Acharya Manasuraha Eta Taksva Bhagavan Jishanam Akramam Gurao. Maharaj Pariksit inquired from Shukadev Goswami, O great sage, why did the spiritual master of the demigods, Brihaspati, reject the demigods who were his own disciples? What offense did demigods commit against their spiritual master? Please describe to me this incident. So we are starting. Actually, one of the very, very important chapters, highly instructive chapter. And it begins with Maharaj Pariksit asking a question. Very often in the Bhagavatam we find that when Maharaj Pariksit he asks questions, it's actually Sukadeva Goswami is giving these long dynasties. Sometimes thinking, why do we hear about that this king begot that son in the womb of this wife, who then begot this son and that son, and so on. You have all these long dynasties. And of course one answer is that they are actually all the great personalities, they appear through these dynasties. But and that's why King Pariksit is actually interested in hearing about these dynasties, and Sukadeva Goswami is relating them. But then we see that every so often Sukadeva Goswami, he just in passing remark, he mentions something, and then King Pariksit he catches on, and then he asks a question about that. It was like we had here in the previous verse. That refers to, we hear about how Rajana, the daughter of the Daitas, became the wife of Prajapati Tvasta. And Tvasta, he got a son, two sons, Sanives and Visvarup. And then he mentions that although Visvarup was a son of the daughter of the eternal enemies, the demons, the demigod accepted him as a priest in accordance with the order of Brahma. When they were abandoned by the spiritual master, Brihaspati, whom they had disrespected. This is interesting. And Maharaj Pariksit is immediately there, and then he asks a question. And then we hear, actually for, is it the rest of the 6th canto practically? Almost. isn't it? So I don't know, this is... Is there more? Is there one part more?
I think so, but it also goes on to Vitrasura.
Yeah,
That's kind of
that's part of the whole thing. It goes, we're going to hear about first how Indra is rejected by his spiritual master, how he accepts Vishvarupa. Then he kills Vishvarupa kind of by mistake, and then he gets a lot of reaction for that. Then as a reaction, Vitrasura takes birth to revenge against Indra, and then we have the whole battle with Vitrasura and Indra and so on. And then actually afterwards, then there's a great question, because Vitrasura, as we'll hear about, turns out to be a great devotee, greater than Indra. And Maharaj Pariksit, he wonders about that. How could such a demon be actually a great devotee? Then we hear about Vitrasura's previous lifetime. So actually it becomes a long thread of one pastime weaving into the other. But then when we've heard that, then Shukadeva Goswami again picks up where he left and continues with the dynasties. And then he will, at one point again, then Maharaj Pariksit will ask a new question when he hears, and then he gets a clue, and then he asks a new question. That's very much how Bhagavatam is built up, of a conversation between Pariksit Maharaj and Shukadeva Goswami transpires. So here in this chapter here, we hear how could it be that Brihaspati he rejected his disciples and his dependents, the demigods, and in one sense it's very straightforward. We'll hear that in the next verses, how Indra is sitting in the heavenly planets on his throne, being worshipped by all the demigods and all the semi-demigods like Gandharvas and Charanas and Siddhas and whatever there is. And then Brihaspati, he enters. And Brihaspati he's Indra's spiritual master, is everyone's spiritual master. But Indra is sitting on his throne, and even though his spiritual master is there, Indra doesn't get down and pay full obeisances like one is supposed to when one sees his spiritual master. That is simply the basic standard. The disciple, when he sees his spiritual master in any circumstance, paying obeisances. Indra doesn't do that, and he doesn't even namaskar or anything. He doesn't even say hello. He doesn't do anything. And Brihaspati, of course, he's incredible, of course, intelligent and perceptive, and you can see Indra needs a good correction for this. Indra is carried, even though it might be, one might think that Brihaspati is vain and feels offended, he didn't respect me. There's nothing like that in Brihaspati. Brihaspati is a great transcendentalist. And but it's again the pride is overcoming Indra, and he needs to be corrected for that. So what does he do? He doesn't suddenly explode and become angry, and he doesn't sit down and then break his Brahman for it and curse Indra. No, he simply enters. He doesn't do anything. Sees nobody, and he just walks out. That's all, and that's finished. That's enough to finish off Indra. Because even though Indra is very, very powerful, but actually he's only powerful by the mercy of his guru, and that he will find out. He thought, that's the disease of conditioned souls. We think that we are independently powerful, we become proud, but we are simply, we are only, products whatever mercy superiors have given us. That's all. I mean, we're not anything independent. And this also applies to Indra. It's a universal principle that one receives Krishna's mercy and Krishna's strength and whatever abilities one has by the mercy of one's superiors. That's and everyone naturally has a superior and superiors. One naturally has a guru, one has parents, one has teachers, one has elders, one even has women have husbands, sudras have masters, and so on. And that's how the system works. We are living under, we take shelter of superiors. By pleasing them, we get mercy in many, many ways. Material mercy, spiritual mercy. Ultimately, of course, the point is to get spiritual mercy and go back home, back to Godhead. But even for material success, we are only products of whatever mercy we get from superiors. So Indra, he will learn this. He will learn this from in this chapter here. Highly instructive. Brihaspati, he leaves, and as soon as Indra, again, Indra, he is extremely qualified. So he had a momentary slip of pride, but when he saw Brihaspati entering, and just walked out, immediately he was there. He understood, this is wrong. I really made a big mistake there. So he packed this down, and he runs after Brihaspati, and wants to fall down and excuse me, and I'm just a fool, and please forgive me, give me your mercy. And he does but Brihaspati is not there. He cannot find him. Simply, Brihaspati disappears, and he's actually much more powerful than Indra, so he becomes invisible, and Indra cannot find him. So then Indra's troubles really starts, because now he's actually only powerful by the mercy of his guru, and the demons they take advantage of that. That's a universal battle going on, perpetual battle in the universe. Demons who belong in the lower planetary systems are envious of the heavenly planets of the demigods, and they constantly try to take them over simply by attacking them, direct warfare. And generally they cannot do it, because demigods are so much more powerful than the demons. But in this case, because the demigods have displeased and lost their mercy of their spiritual master, and at the same time the demons have pleased their guru, who is Shukracharya. They have worshipped and pleased him so much so that now they become powerful, and they are able to actually defeat the demigods and take over the heavenly planets. All because of Indra losing the mercy of his spiritual master. And this is a teaching. This is a teaching of this chapter, of this section. This is a theme that goes through this chapter. And we see how dangerous it is. It's just a slight mistake, but the consequences were enormous. That's a danger when one is not completely conscious. If one is conscious at the right moment and acts always correctly, then one will prevent all kinds of troubles. But any slip, and one gets involved in incredible entanglements. And we see here that the principle is, and this is the stark teaching that is being given in this chapter here. One has to, what is only powerful or successful or able to advance in spiritual life, in Krishna consciousness, simply by the mercy of one's spiritual master, one's superiors. And and not only even one's superiors. Actually, when it goes down to look at the fine detail, even it's we need the mercy of any kind of Vaishnava. It's I'll relate another also very famous story which has a similar lesson, although the consequences are not as drastic in one sense, and but still very, very instructive story. It's a story about Rupa Goswami. Probably you've heard it, but it's very, very instructive story that also Rupa Goswami once offended one Vaishnava, and somehow that he lost his, not Krishna consciousness, but definitely he lost somehow he couldn't enter Krishna's Leela as he normally was doing, and and the way that he offended him was even less deliberate than here in the case of Indra. Actually, Rupa Goswami didn't do anything wrong. And once Rupa Goswami was in meditation and he was actually entering Krishna's Leelas. This is the level of the 6 Goswamis, and they're actually able by meditation to actually enter into the spiritual world and take part in the Leelas there. And we can also get to that level. And Prabhupada instructs in the Nectar devotion that if we do, we keep it to ourselves. We don't. He advises that actually it doesn't make any difference what how advanced we are. We should always act on the level of neophytes, meaning following strictly regulated principles, chanting 16 rounds, morning program, sadhana, menial service. That doesn't change for us in this lifetime. We will not reach a point where we're so advanced that we can simply drop. Now I don't have to worry about my 16 rounds. I don't have to worry about all the whatever basic principles we are following. That point does not exist for us. Prabhupada has said that even if we at one point would realize something of our eternal identity into Krishna's pastimes, we have to keep it to ourselves. We don't. And we just externally everyone should act like a neophyte. Nevertheless, it is a level that we hear about how great devotees actually are. They actually enter Krishna's Leelas through remembrance, Leela Smaranam. And Rupa Goswami was sitting in meditation and actually entering Krishna's Leela, and something very humorous happened. Remember, was it something with Krishna and was teasing Radha? Something that he was hiding in it. Was it in a tree? That's not the one. I think he was.
It was something with a branch.
Yeah.
Fruit on.
Yeah, it's right. There was a branch with some fruits on, and Krishna was hiding and holding down the branch by his weight. And Radharani, she comes and she wants to pick the fruit, she holds onto the branch, and then Krishna let go and she flies up in the air. And so fun. And then Rupa Goswami just laughs. This is so funny. It's spiritual life is full of a lot of fun. That's another point. It's not dry. It's not boring. It's not Buddhism. It's actually it's really a lot of fun. So they have fun in the spiritual world. And Rupa Goswami was just laughing in his meditation. And externally, you can just see he was laughing. And but he was actually in Krishna's Leelas. At that very moment, when he was laughing, one devotee happened to pass by who was handicapped, not walking, not being he had a somewhat crooked kind of walking because of invalidity or something like that. And so Rupa Goswami sitting there, and when this Vaishnava just passed in front, then Rupa Goswami laughs. And then this Vaishnava is completely shocked. Rupa Goswami is laughing at me because of my handicap. And so he becomes very offended, and he continues walking away. And then suddenly Rupa Goswami's meditation breaks, and then when he tries to enter again into meditation, he cannot. Something is blocking his meditation. He cannot, and it remains like that. You know, somehow or another something has happened. So then he finally ends up consulting with Sanatana Goswami, his older brother, who is also his guru, and and explains the whole situation to him, that I'm not able to enter into trance anymore. What's wrong? And Sanatana Goswami immediately, diagnosed with the problem. He must have offended a Vaishnava. There's only one reason why this could be. This is because of offenses to Vaishnavas. And then Rupa Goswami, but I'm not aware that I've offended any. Of course, I'm sure Rupa Goswami thinks I'm offending everyone. I'm just one walking offense. That's another symptom of very advanced devotees. They always think they are full of offenses, and they are fallen, and they're the most fallen of fallen. That's one thing. But then again, Rupa Goswami says that I'm not particularly aware that I've offended any particular Vaishnava. But Sanatana said, but you must have offended some Vaishnava. So we don't know. But we'll do something. We'll make a big festival. We invite all the Vaishnavas here in Vrindavan, living in the Vrindavan area. That's of course the Goswamis. We probably know they all live in the order of Lord Chaitanya. They went and they lived in Vrindavan, and by the mercy of the 6 Goswamis, we actually have the Vrindavan today. They revealed the old places of pastimes from Krishna's time, and so they invite. So Rupa Goswami, he organizes a big feast with a lot of prasadam, invites all the Vaishnavas, and then Sanatana Goswami says, and if there's someone who will not come, then it's because you must have offended them. And this is precisely what happens. Then all the Vaishnavas come, but there's one particular Vaishnava, he doesn't come. This Vaishnava who is invalidated. And so Rupa Goswami says that he's not there. Then he finds, searches him out and asks him and says, you're not coming to my feast. I think I must have offended you. What have I done wrong? Please forgive me. And then the Vaishnava, he says, actually, yeah, you're right. Why did you laugh at me? It's not proper. I know I'm an invalid and walking crooked like that, but why did you laugh at me? And Rupa Goswami was just blank, and he doesn't remember anything about him laughing at him. And but then they have a talk, and finally they actually find out, I was in trance and I was laughing. I wasn't laughing at you. I didn't know you were there. I was, laughing because so on. So, and please forgive me, and so on. And again, the whole matter is settled like that. And Rupa Goswami again is back to his, real consciousness. He's able to enter into trance like that. But then from this story, it's kind of a similar incident, but even more drastic, because here it's not the guru of Rupa Goswami. It's quote unquote just an ordinary Vaishnava. They don't exist. Ordinary Vaishnavas don't exist.